Hello everyone, in this video we will be talking about multiplication and division with 10, 100, and 1000. Now, all of you guys did really great when we did this in class, so what we're going to do is I'm going to let you try and do these on your own. You are going to pause the video, write these down on a piece of paper or a notebook, and try and do them on your own. When you are done, if you find them too difficult, then you can continue the video where I'm going to solve them and see if you did them correctly. So pause the video and try to do them on your own in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so if you're back, that means that you tried to do them on your own and either did them all or maybe they were too difficult. So let's solve them together and see if you did them correctly. So for the first few, they're pretty easy because as you can see, there's no decimal here. I'm just multiplying by 10. So that means that I can just rewrite the number I'm multiplying by 10, which would be 60. I can rewrite it and then just put a 0 at the end. So it's 600. The same goes for the next one. I rewrite 60, but now I put in 2 zeros at the end because I'm multiplying by 100. Next we have 60 times 1,000, so I write 60 again. This time I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 zeros because I'm multiplying with 1,000, and 1,000 has 3 zeros. Next I have 48 times 10, so I'm going to write 48 and put a 0 at the end. And next we have 48 times 100, so I'm going to write 48 and put 2 zeros at the end. So that's 4,800. Next we have 48 times 1,000. I'm going to write 48 and then 1, 2, 3 zeros at the end. So 48,000. Next we have 5.63 times 10. And here's where things start to get complicated. Because this is a decimal number. And I can't just do what I did before. I can't just write 5.63 and put a 0 at the end. No, it doesn't go like that when it's a decimal number. What I need to do is think that the comma needs to move one place to the right. The decimal point needs to move one place to the right. Why one place? Because I'm multiplying with 10 and 10 has 1 0. Why to the right? Because I'm multiplying. When I multiply, the decimal point goes to the right. When I divide, it goes to the left. So, since it's going one place to the right, now it's between the 5 and the 6. Next, it's going to be between the 6 and the 3. I'm going to have 56.3. In the next multiplication, I have to do 5.63 times 100. That means it needs to, the decimal point needs to move 2 places to the right. So 563. Why? Because one place skips the 6, the other place skips the 3, and it would come here. The decimal point would come here. Now some of you write 563.0. When you get a result like this, you can just delete the point and the 0. If they don't have any number to their right, there's no reason for them to be there. This isn't wrong if you write 563.0. It's not wrong. It's just that 563 is more correct. It's the better answer. Now, let's say you have 563.00000000001. Now, I can't delete any of these zeros because there's that 1 to its right. But when I'm in a case like this, where there's no number to the zero's right, I can delete both the 0 and the decimal point. Next, we have 5.63 times 1,000. Now, what happens here is we need to take the decimal point 3 places to the right. One place skips the 6, one place skips the 3, and the other I turn into a 0. And I need to put the decimal point after the 0. This, if you were going to do this, is incorrect because the decimal point needs to be after the 0. But again, just like before, Since there's no number to the right, I can just not write the decimal point at all. And my answer would be 5,630. Okay? Again, I needed to take the decimal point 3 places to the right. One place skips the 6, the other place skips the 3, and the last place I turn into a 0. Lastly, we're moving on to the division. Now, I could do all these divisions in the exact same way, but if you're looking closely, you will notice that the number being divided in this first division has more zeros than the number doing the dividing. The dividend has more zeros than the divisor. What does that mean? It means instead of getting mixed up with decimal points and all that, I can just cross out 1 0 here, 1 0 here. And what would I be left with? I'd be left with 30. Now that's a lot simpler than doing the whole thing with the decimal points. But if you didn't notice it and you moved into the whole decimal point thing, the decimal point would have to start off from here and move one place to the left. So here between the zeros, and I would get 30.0, which again is 30. Again, just cross out a couple, 1 0 on this number and 1 0 on this number, and you get 30. Here, the dividend and the divisor have the same number of zeros, so I can go 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, cross that out, and 1 here. And what I'm left with is 3. Again, I could have done the decimal just moving it to the left two places, but I don't have to. In the next case, I'm dividing 300 by 1,000. Now the dividend has fewer zeros than the divisor. In this case, I need to involve the decimal point. So the decimal point of an integral number, a number that currently has no decimal point, is invisible, as we say, and it's to the bottom right, so here. So it starts from here and it needs to go 3 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3 in front of this 3. So what would my result be? 0.300. No, because as we've said in the class, no number can start with a decimal point. I need to put a 0 in front of this decimal point. So my result would be 0.300, and if I want to be extremely correct, if I want to be the most correct I can be, I can erase these zeros because they don't have any other number to the right of them. They are useless. Next, I have 51 divided by 10. Again, the decimal point needs to start from here, and I need to move it one place to the left. So here comes between the 5 and the 1. So my answer for 51 divided by 10 is 5.1. Next, we have 51 divided by 100. We start from here, and we move 2 places to the left. 1, 2 in front of the 5. Again, is my answer 0.51? No, because as we said before, no number can start with a decimal point. I'm going to put a 0 in front of this decimal point. Next, we have 51 divided by 1,000. So we start from here. 1 place to the left, 2 places to the left, and the third place turns into a 0. And I have to put the decimal point before that 0. So is my answer 0.051? No, because again, no number can start with a decimal point. I need to write it as 0.051. Next, we have 4.6 divided by 10. Here we already have the decimal point, so this is actually kind of easier than the last one. and it needs to move one place to the left, so it just skips the 4. Again, put a 0 in front of the decimal point, and my answer is 0.46. Next, I need to move 2 places to the left. One place skips the 4, and the other place I turn into a 0, which needs to be after the decimal point. And in front of the decimal point, I put a 0. So my answer is 0.046. Lastly, I need to move 3 places to the left. One place skips to the 4, and the other 2 I turn into zeros. These zeros need to be after the decimal point. So I would get 0.0046. That'll be all for today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good day.